Oxford. Please join me in welcoming Robert Jones, almost MD.
Good morning, Duke. It is a great honor to be here today. Today is the most important of days. It is a day in which we reflect on our past years at this amazing institution. It is a day in which, oh, I'm sorry, my cell phone's going off. Hold on, just 1 second. Hello? Yeah, this is Robert Jones. No, I'm not busy right now. Right, a black limousine, double parked in front of the chapel? What does this have to do with me? Oh, it's Oprah's. Oh. Yeah, she's here. No, she's not busy. Okay. All right, yeah, I'll let her know. Okay, all right. Miss Winfrey, apparently your limousine is double parked in front of the chapel. Duke Parking Services wanted me to let you know that they won't actually release your honorary degree until you pay your parking fine. Really sorry about that. And sorry, Duke, I should really turn off my cell phone. I just wanted to follow what President Broadhead was saying about my speech on Twitter. Let me start over. Welcome, Duke. I thought on a day such as today, when we focus on success, I would talk about failure, how it is an experience we all share, and the good that can come of it. I would like you to think about how, to some degree, we are all embarrassing losers. Have you ever been turned down for a date? Have you been laughed at because you wear pink pants? Do you steal candy from children? If you were me, the answers would be yes, and all the time. I like to practice what I preach, so I'll be the first to admit it. I am an embarrassing loser. I have some stories of failure that I'd like to share with you now. When I was 5, my 9-year-old sister had a huge slumber party. Being little brother, I decided it would be fun to terrorize her and her friends. In my wisdom, I planned the most devastating attack I could imagine, to jump screaming into my sister's room and throw some He-Man toys at the girls. After all, I was 5 and it was a slow Saturday night. However, as the owner of a 5-year-old male brain, my attention span was just short enough that I often overlooked the need to clothe myself after my evening bath. So, on the night of the party, according to plan, I burst into my sister's room. But, and this was not according to plan, I found myself fresh from my bath without one stitch of clothing in front of a merciless phalanx of 9-year-old girls. Why I made that significant and basic oversight, I have no idea. We all have past embarrassments, but we all ultimately recover. Yet we spend too much of our lives in the paralyzing fear of embarrassment than in the free pursuit of our dreams. In freeing myself from the power of that past embarrassment, I can now live my dream, because today, I throw He-Man toys at my sister without fear, without shame, and with clothes. My time at Duke as an undergraduate was one of profound learning, and one of occasional but unavoidable moments of poor judgment. During my undergraduate senior year, I figured I needed some practical knowledge to manage the ever-impending dangers of the real world. So I signed up for fencing. It just made sense. I enrolled with my best friend, and we delighted in antagonizing our French fencing instructor with references to the Three Musketeers. "We shall learn to fight the dirty Huguenot today in class, yes, instructor?" I'm sure none of you know what I'm talking about, but being seniors and being Duke students, we possessed a certain bloated self-confidence that we could do whatever we wanted. And we seized that opportunity when our instructor took ill one class and left in his place an unarmed member of the fencing team to oversee us. My friend and I decided that our fencing skills were wasted in the confines of our classroom at Wilson Gym and sought a more public outlet in which to demonstrate our craft. So with our fencing helmets donned, we escaped the gym to perform a swordplay-heavy interpretation of Les Miserables in Sheshetskyville. We were reaching the finale of Act 1. Of course, I was playing the 6-year-old orphan girl Cosette, who was dying from a stab wound to the neck delivered by my friend playing the ice-hearted policeman Javert. And just as I was screaming, "I am la petite misérable," in the dramatic apex of the scene, our drama was ruined by the incensed shouts of the angry substitute teacher. She just didn't appreciate good musical drama. And neither did the Duke police when they showed up. It was a bit like Jerry Springer Goes to Tuesday, Thursday beginning fencing. Not surprisingly, our charms were lost on the substitute teacher, and when our instructor returned, he was less than thrilled. Our shouts of "Vive la France" fell on unsympathetic ears. I took from this experience several lessons. First and foremost, I am totally wrong for the role of Cosette. I also learned that even as an adult, my judgment can be stuck in the second grade. Sometimes it takes a resounding no from the world to retrain your perspective on how you are leading your life. And I would like to thank Duke for being that world, for being a world in which I could run around as a sword-bearing, 6-year-old French Revolutionary orphan girl and not end up in jail. In medical school here at Duke, I've certainly had some moments of imperfection that I would love to do over. One morning, I had the privilege to go on rounds with the chief of medicine. This is one of the highest medical officers in the hospital. He's world famous and one heck of a guy. If he were an X-Man, doctoring would be his superpower. And he has naturally white teeth. It's my turn to present to the chief of medicine on rounds. I'm standing there, a second-year medical student, trying to act so smart, so together, in front of all of the senior doctors, all of the people who are determining my future. And it's my time to shine. So I begin. Last evening, James Grant came to the hospital with acute chest pain that was unrelieved by rest. Excuse me, son, my name is John Dubose. Often I ask myself, can I be that careless? Can I be that embarrassed? And the answer is yes, I can. I wasn't perfect. We are all impelled to perfection, especially in an environment as outstanding as Duke. However, in that march to perfection, we forget that we are absolutely imperfect. If we can remember the acceptability of fallibility, we are no longer held prisoner to the impossible standard of perfection that we all want so desperately to define our lives. I apologize. I've gone this far in my speech and not mentioned graduation once. As a former undergraduate classics major, I'm interested in the root meaning of words. And the word graduation is a perfect example. It comes from the Latin graduus, which roughly translated means, wait, I don't get spring break with my job? Graduation is a time of substantial self-reflection on your history at Duke. I don't believe this speech can do justice to the millions of individual stories that you have accrued in your past years at this institution. The best I can do is speak upon my lesson learned here. I think there is empowerment in acknowledging one's imperfection. Once we admit our flaws, they do not own us anymore. In a way, it makes us freer to succeed, and yes, freer to fail. In my time at Duke, I have learned my failures in action do not equate with my failures as a person. We each have our own stories, and we each have our own lessons learned at Duke. But we all have been afforded the opportunity to spend a part of our lives at an institution that, at the very least, has offered us a chance to enrich ourselves. Duke has served as the frame in which we have painted our stories. At Duke, we have been taught to paint some masterpieces, and we have also been allowed to paint some duds. In painting our experiences here, we can appreciate the skills that we have developed in our successes, the lessons we have learned in our failures, and the fact that Duke has simply asked that we never paint by number. Thank you very much.